Now that I have my strings locked back into place using a simple straight across weaving, let's try something else that's a little fancy again, using 2 strings. So you're going to pick any 2 colors that you think go together. It's up to you, but you want to make sure they are about the same size. Now I can see in this already that my blue is slightly larger than my purple, but they're about the same. Just like before, if you have a little extra, you can trim it off. So now we are going to do another half and half design, or part and part design, but instead of leaving a window, we are going to make sure that they are connected. And I like to call these my mice, as you've probably noticed. So my mice like to follow what the other mouse does. They're very repetitive. So I have my blue mouse here, and he needs to go under because my yellow ended over. So he's going to go under until the part where I want them to connect, and then he's going to turn around. So I'm going to have it connect on this string. So choose any string, I'm picking this one, and turn around. Now this time you're not going to do all of one color and then all of the other color. These mice are jealous mice. Think of them like a big sister and a little sister, a big brother, little brother. He always wants to do what the other one does. So now purple mouse is like, blue mouse went to here, I want to go there too. So purple mouse starts running across your loom here. He gets to where blue mouse got to, and he turns around and goes home. So now you can see they are both hooking and sharing the same string. Now purple mouse did it, so blue mouse is like, fine, I'm gonna do it again. So then blue mouse comes over, he goes to the same string as before, he turns around and goes home. When you're doing this technique where they are sharing the string to do part and part with no window, make sure you're always going to the same string. So now purple mouse is coming across, he gets to that same string, hooks around it, and runs back home. Blue mouse and purple mouse are going to keep doing this until you start running out of string in one of your colors. So as you continue to add more rows, you will see how half or part of the board begins turning the color of the one string, and then part of the board is turning the color of the other string. But unlike when we did 2 strings before and we left a gap where they did not touch, this time with sharing the string, it completes the board, which does not leave a hole. So continue doing that, and remember that fancy, when I say fancy, does not mean harder. You're still doing over, under, over, under, over, under, hooking the string and turning around, just like you did on a straight across, except this time you're doing 2 strings that are just taking turns. So fancy doesn't mean harder, it's just different. Sometimes you might end up with a messy tangle. The best thing to do is not to start pulling hard. Just start gently unraveling, and you'll notice that the more gentle you pull, the easier any knots will come out. If you end up with a gigantic knot, you may want to ask someone to help you undo it so that you don't need to cut off the string with all the hard work that you've already done. That string actually gave me a hard time to get out, but I've gotten it out and I can remouse my string. So I have finished up with my part and part attaching at the same string. So I'm looking at this one, and if it goes all the way across here, it's going to end up in the middle and go all the way back. I'm just going to let these tails hang out. If you have an extra long tail, you can snip it a little, but don't make it too short. It has a tendency to kind of get sucked back inside. So let that hang out. And then, like I said before, I like to lock in my weaving. Anything fancy I do, I like to lock it in with a straight across. So if you have done something fancy, grab a string and just kind of even it out with a simple straight across. It doesn't have to be a long or wide pattern, but it's a good idea to just reset it. So I have a small area where I've locked it back in. When I check my string, I see it does not go across, so that becomes